Ethan Nadelman, class of 1975. Political activist. Ethan's senior quotation in the school yearbook gives a little hint about his very serious academic side. Life is just one big joke. It was never meant to be taken seriously. And then he taught at Harvard and Princeton, and then left the academic world, where he became the founder and executive director of the Drug Policy Alliance. Nadelman is regarded as the most articulate spokesman for drug policy reform in the United States. He is something of a controversial character, but that's fine. The first time he spoke to a group here in Scarsdale, it was in the Gym A in the Little Theater. And all I remember is, and I won't say the boy's name because that would be unfair, that it was time for questions, and the kid raised his hand and he said, you, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. And then the kid sat down. And that was the Scarsdale analysis of this. Okay. This is a special one. Yuki Tsunoda, class of 1979. No Bandersnatch. Wouldn't use it here. Businesswoman, psychologist, introduced the Myers-Briggs type indicator to Japan and played an important role helping its citizens heal following the 2001 earthquake. Today, Yuki is recognized in Japan as an expert in her field. Her status as a successful businesswoman is rare. During her years at Scarsdale, not easy ones for her, sure, she cited one teacher who helped her reach her potential, Len Talevi. And I've asked Len to speak first to introduce Yuki after that. Thank you, Art.
Back then, it was the Scarsdale Junior High School. Today, it's Scarsdale Middle School. I remember when they had the conversation, should Scarsdale spend the money and change the sign? Someone from the audience stood up and said, I'll buy a vowel. And they decided to change the name there. It really is a privilege for me to speak on Yuki's behalf. And just to think that someone traveled all the way from Tokyo to be here, it makes me feel very proud. But before I speak about her professional accomplishments, let me share a brief story. Yuki came to Scarsdale and to Scarsdale Junior High School, coming directly from Japan, back in the 70s when we did not have an ESL classroom. Imagine going to a new country with no understanding of the language, and being placed in a full mainstream program, and you were the only student from Japan, and you were expected to succeed. Yuki was a student of mine, and I actually remember the first time I looked at her notebook. It seems like she translated the entire textbook into Japanese. I remember asking her, how late did you stay up to do this? She replied, very late. I'm sure it doesn't surprise you that Yuki was an amazing student and seemed to accomplish the impossible. Now let's fast forward to this past August. I was presenting at an international conference for psychological type in San Francisco, Jay's area, okay? That's where people from around the world come to learn about personality types and the Myers-Briggs and the work of Isabel Myers and Catherine Briggs. Immediately after my presentation, I was whisked away by the head of the Center for the Application of Psychological Type, who said, Len, there's someone who wants to see you again. So after 3.5 decades, we got to be reunited. That's when I became aware of Yuki's accomplishments. And after our meeting, I remember my wife, Marie, saying she should receive the Scarsdale Distinguished Alumni Award, and she was absolutely correct. At that very same conference, Yuki was presented with a major award that was called, and she was called the Isabel Myers of Japan. Now, to put that in perspective, in the world of type, that's like being called the Ruth of baseball, the Jordan of basketball, or the Gretzky of hockey. I mean, that's an unbelievable compliment. Yuki is a clinical psychologist. She has a thriving private practice, and she teaches at the University of Tokyo Graduate Medical School and at the Kyoto University Graduate School of Medicine. She heads several businesses. She has trained thousands of people in psychological type, and as a result of her work, over 200,000 have taken the MBTI. She has made it her mission in life to help the people in Japan find their identity, values, and fulfillment in their personal life and professional careers. Let me just read a brief quote in one of her letters of recommendation for this award. Many women in Japan work outside the home, but few reach the executive level, and even fewer own a business. The culture of Japan tends to reinforce traditional roles, and to become well-known or indeed famous is not something easily achieved by a woman. Yuki pursued the career she chose, not because she wanted public recognition, but because she felt a personal mission to help the people in her country to better appreciate themselves as individuals. Ms. Sonoda continues to tirelessly promote the MBTI in Japan and abroad, dedicating her time to helping raise awareness for valuing human beings precisely because of their diverse values, personality, and potential. Everyone here, and with thanks to our superintendent, Dr. McGill, knows our school motto, non sibi. In 2011, when the tsunami and earthquakes hit, our Scarsdale graduate volunteered her talents to support the victims of those tragedies by serving as the group leader for the East Japan Support Project. Yuki, we are all so very proud of you, and it is my honor and our honor to present you with the Scarsdale Alumni Distinguished Award. Thank you.